Okay guys, so today we're going to continue reviewing parallel and perpendicular lines. Yesterday we talked about slope. So today I just want to quickly talk about what the equations of those lines are going to look like. Quickly as a reminder, I remind you that parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines would have negative reciprocal slopes. And then intersecting lines would really be anything else. Anything else would be an intersecting line. What we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple examples here, and then we will try a few on our own. So, as we discussed, parallel lines are going to have the same slope. So you can tell here that I'm looking for the same slope, and right here on both of these equations you can see that the slope for each of those is 2/3. So that would be an example of being the same. Perpendicular slopes have negative reciprocals. So here you can tell that one of the slopes is positive 4/5, while the second slope is negative 5/4. So you've got one positive, one negative, 4/5 and 5/4. So that's the negative reciprocal. And then of course anything else is going to be just our intersecting lines. So you can see here on the end I've got 2 and 1/3. 2 and 1/3, they are not the same and they are not reciprocals of each other. So that's going to be our anything else. The one thing I do want to pay attention to in all of these is notice what form I was in. Y equals mx plus b for each of these forms. So that tells me exactly what I need to do. I need to be in y equals mx plus b form. So now we have a quick example. I've got two lines and I want to determine whether they're parallel, perpendicular, or just intersecting. So I'm going to write each in y equals mx plus b form and then compare the slopes. Well, the first one is done. That first one's already in y equals mx plus b form. So my m here, my slope, is 4. Okay. However, on this equation, it is not in mx plus b form, so I'm going to have to make it so. So I'm going to solve for y by getting rid of the 3x on both sides. Those go away. It leaves me negative 12y equals. These are not like terms, so I'm going to leave it as negative 3x plus 36. And then I can divide everything by negative 12. That becomes a 1, and I'm left with y equals negative 3 over 12 is positive 1/4 x minus 3. Now I'm in y equals mx plus b form, so I can compare these. Here's my slope of 1/4. So as I compare these two slopes, 1/4 and 4, I think to myself, are they parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Remember, parallel would be the same, perpendicular would be a negative reciprocal, and intersecting would be anything else. So as I look at these, they're clearly not the same. 4 and 1/4 are not equal. And are they negative reciprocals? Well, they're pretty close. 4 and 1/4 are definitely reciprocals, but is one positive and one negative? Remember, one's positive and one's negative. Does that happen in this case? No. So they're not negative reciprocals. So I'm really only left with one answer on this choice. These would be intersecting lines.